Hey everyone, it is April 4th, 2019, and welcome to another Brooklyn Baritone podcast. Okay, welcome to another episode and airing of my podcast, Brooklyn Baritone. I am Corey Ashley. Of course, as you know from, if you have even listened to any of my other material in earlier podcasts, I talk of a lot of things, social issues, a lot of personal development, personal growth, professional growth, spiritual growth. All those things are intertwined and make up our complicated weave that we call life. Well, many of the things that I talk about relates to everyone, especially me. So I'm not some type of Dalai Lama. I don't have a PhD or a doctorate in some kind of psychiatry or whatever. I haven't sailed the 7 seas, but I do have a good amount of experience in life, different jobs, different relationships, different paths. Many things have changed, but at the point, definitely for years, I've seen a lot of things seem to connect and make sense, more so in the spiritual sense, where if things are aligned with you properly, and I'm going to say it directly, anything aligned with what the Father, Elohim, Adonai, Yeshua is telling us to do, things will work out for us. Problem is we have way too much things and ideas, ideals, mindsets, opinions that convolute all of these things that we should be living like. The way that we need to live and even have a relationship with the Father, a relationship with ourselves and other people around us and the world around us, has been diluted. It's so much pieces of the puzzle are missing, and we kind of bring that on ourselves. We have a lot of influences before us, before we were even here on this planet, that put many things into motion that kind of, distracted us from the truth, and the truth of being a more whole person, of being a person of fulfillment, being a person of purpose, being a person of compassion and integrity, all those beautiful things that we all strive to be, but sometimes we fall short, maybe because of our own shortcomings, our own lack of understanding, or our even lack of understanding ourselves. But anyways, enough of that. Okay, emotional PTSD is what I'm talking about today. That is a heavy thing because we know about this term, and it first kind of got popularized with the men and women of the armed forces, usually associated with combat or anything traumatic, which is part of the term post-traumatic stress disorder, anything traumatic that they may have encountered. But it's not just limited to people who served, my fellow veterans. My hat goes off to you. But anyone in any profession or environment or any experience. It doesn't have to be a constant exposure to an environment. It could just be one time, because many things change people, especially if they are traumatic. Now, of course, the definition of post-traumatic stress disorder is a condition of persistent mental and emotional stress occurring as a result of injury or severe psychological shock, typically involving disturbance of sleep and consistent vivid recall of the experience with dulled responses to the others and the outside world. Kind of in a nutshell, and there's actually more to it as well. But in a sense, yes. But when it comes down to it, most of us have come across some form of trauma, whether it be a violent physical altercation, could be a verbal altercation, it could be a massive change in your life, in the people around you, could be separation because of death, separation because someone decided to move away from you, or because a relationship didn't work out, or a job didn't work out, a loss of finances, and that will cripple a lot of people, especially nowadays with how we're so dependent on currencies and finances, and how we're kind of we're weaned and groomed to be dependent on these things. Now, did I say emotional? No, I think I said moral PTSD. Okay, it's catching myself. Moral PTSD is basically the stress and the trauma involved with morals. And we are definitely seeing that. Unless you just happen to be a person who is not affected by it, even though you see it, or you may be living somewhere very remote. Most of us see it. Some places definitely more than others. Remember, my website is Brooklyn Baritone, so I am in New York City. So we see a lot of lack of morals, or I should say moral PTSD. So New York City is definitely a place that you will experience or suffer from moral PTSD. Now I'm going to start from the origins, from the cradle. Probably go to the cradle to the grave, not the DMX movie, but that's just a term and a moniker, and I'm looking to use now. Now, when I say the term moral PTSD, and so much of us do suffer from it, whether we realize it or not. You think about when you're a child. You basically look at, well, most of us are basically taught the rights and the wrongs, the do's and the don'ts. And we're also taught to behave in a manner that's respectable of ourselves and to other people, to talk nice, to not curse, to not take anything that's not yours, at least without having permission, is lying. Stealing, and speak the truth all the time, to not lie, and to be respectful to other people around you, especially your elders. So we're taught to play nice. We're taught to talk properly, to speak when spoken to, or speak when it's appropriate, to have a proper, respectful approach to other people, especially your elders. Keep your hands to yourself. Don't hit anybody, even no matter if you're angry or not. Control yourself. All these things. And you're also taught, time management. Time to eat. No, you're not going to eat that now. It's too late. Hey, it's time to go to bed. Yes, it's getting too late. Or you need to take a nap. Hey, it's time to get up. Time to go to school. You're taught these things more because you are younger age and you have to learn order. And I always say this world, this existence is completely about order. No matter how much of a free mind and free will we want to be, that free mind is made up of an order of millions of brain cells that keep together in a specific order for you to have the luxury and liberty to think. Free will, to do whatever you want with your body. Of course, there's consequences, but it's because if we abuse our bodies or even our free will and liberties, there are consequences because you are now breaking that order of things. But I don't want to stray off too much off the point. So we learn to be nice as children. We learn to play by the rules. We learn to be a proper and good person. And then we get older. And all that stuff that we learned to do as a child is now out of the window. Why is that? Because now when little kids actually see grown-ups doing quote-unquote grown-up things, I don't know why it's called grown-up things. I guess because you feel you grew up out of the mindset that kept you safe and had morals, but I digress and continue to go forward. So now you're older, when you're younger now, and you're starting to come up in age, you're starting to see things that, grown-ups still drinking. You're not old enough, got to be 21 to drink alcohol, drink liquor, to touch anything out of daddy's or uncle's liquor cabinet, or go to a club. That's what they do in bars, hang out, socialize, and drink. Make themselves inebriated, their senses are dull, attacking their liver and or kidneys and stuff, fantastic grown-up things. Also, cussing is grown-up. How is that grown-up? cursing is, again, another thing that I've covered in the past, where it's listen to the word curse. We all know what a curse is. No one wants a curse put on them. So why would you sit there spouting things, especially in the origin that you may not understand? Now, because it's children's stories. So much things have origins, and they're called curses for a reason. And it's just vulgar. It has this negative energy behind it when you say it. No matter, even if you're used to it, it doesn't change the fact that it's something that you shouldn't be saying, or even speaking mean to others. Picking on people, being a bully with things. The things that we learn to not do as a child. But then if people, we don't like people or whatever, then tough stuff. The sticks and stones may break my bones. That's my past podcast about words, how powerful they are. We also look at staying up late, which, you have the free will to do that. Now, we really shouldn't, because we need sleep. And we might get used to, I'm used to not having a whole lot of sleep, but I need sleep. And there's times I welcome it. Part of getting older, but you realize hey, I need sleep so my body can rejuvenate and heal itself. And I could get that energy that I want to wake up the next morning, Father willing, to do more marvelous things. Also, another thing about what quote-unquote grown-ups do is, getting some nookie. Getting down, getting nasty, all that stuff, getting very intimate. That many young people, like one of the things that we can't wait to do that stuff that grown-ups do, to curse or to see movies that got curses in it, and to drink and to smoke and all that stuff. Why are these things grown up? What happened to our morals that we were taught as children to do and to not do? Why is it that we feel that we're grown in abusing ourselves, our bodies, other people, and the things and resources that we have in our lives? That does not make sense. Hence why so much things are very wrong today. So many things are not the way they should be. And many people are miserable, even if they attain all the things that society and the governments and the culture says that you need to be happy. Got me a nice new cell phone, the latest model cell phone. Nice, taking selfies. Nice, taking a picture of my food, picture of myself, picture of my friends. Got a new car, got me a nice job, got a nice crib. I live in a nice part of town. Got these nice clothes, yada, 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 yada. These are things that are nice to have, yes. But they do not make you who you are. It's a part of you, but it doesn't make you who you are. It has these are empty things that we look to attain, that we look to acquire. Now, we always have to remember, too, that, even though we have these things, people are still miserable. We got a job. Can't wait till I get older to get more money for myself so I can buy my own stuff. And then we get there like, oh, man, tired of going to work. Oh, got to pay this bill. Oh, my goodness. Not paying enough. Oh, I can't believe how much this costs. Welcome to the grown-up world. Welcome to freedom. This freedom that they say supposedly is freedom has a price. It's not really freedom. It's a kind of bondage. So when we look at the freedom that we so ache for because all the grown-ups are doing and having a blast, then we get up to be a grown-up. We're like, damn, this is not how I thought it was going to be. By trade, I'm an IT person, information technology. When I'm computer guys, you call when your computer's not working. And there's an old movie called Hackers. It was when Angelina Jolie was in it, and she was like, real young and fresh looking and stuff. Now, it was a fantastic movie. It was, I think, a cult following, a bit, not super big. Only certain people know it. But, especially when you're very impressionable, especially from anything from Hollywood. Billions and trillions of dollars of entertainment money behind that. But it's basically about, hackers, what people will call the people who are on the dark web right now, a young group of hip, edgy teens and youngsters on skateboards and weird glasses and hacking into stuff with computers that are high tech at the time, whatever. So anyways, when you're a young impressionable person looking at IT stuff, you're like, man, I want to live like those guys hackers. I want to be a computer guy. And then when you get into the IT world, you're like, this is nothing like the movie. Where's the skateboards? Where's the fun they were having? I want to be able to hack into stuff. It's none of that stuff that you're doing unless you are actually a hacker. And, I don't think you're living that wild, usually in a low-key environment. But again, you're at one point, from the outside looking in, and when you get in, it's like, this is not how it's supposed to be. Yeah, I have more freedom and stuff, but you have a lot more burden now. And then you realize everything that everyone's doing is like that. The cursing made me feel better or liberated. I'm down in the pits like everybody else now. Now I'm earning my own money, yeah, unless you are earning a great amount of money and you are doing your purpose and you understand that seed that's planted in you in the form of a talent or a skill set or a gift, then you're going to feel like, I'm just trudging along 9 to 5. Where's the fun supposed to start? I miss hanging out. I'm getting older now. I'm getting more tired. I can't hang out anymore. And then you see movies. Movies are good, but this is not going to make you feel good for 24 hours a day. And it's going to be impossible to feel good 24 hours a day, especially how things are, how everybody else is right now. So we have a lot of people who are miserable for many different reasons, but from the same core. We go away from not even a simplicity, but from the moral foundation that we were taught when we were a child. And then we cross over to adolescence, young adults, to adulthood. We find that these things we don't do anymore. That's childish. Now, I understand certain things and ways of speaking and doing things are childish. But to be nice to people all the time, to want to share, to just enjoy life, just to enjoy life. You're not hanging out with this girl, just to get into the panties. You're actually just hanging out with her because, hey, she's cool. I don't even care about, her genitalia. She's just a cool person. She makes me laugh. We've all fallen through for that. We've all gone through that. No ulterior motives. We're just doing it because we like it. This is the thing to do. This is how we're supposed to live. Much more simplistic, because we make things way more complicated, thinking that we're, older, getting more freedom from overbearingness of childhood. Understand that that's where it is. To have a little bit more a carefree life. Not to just throw away all of your responsibilities, but to not worry as much. To actually be nice to people, to look forward to, enjoying the day as best as you possibly can. Don't worry about throwing curses out of your mouth, putting that energy out there, putting that poison in your body, smoking, drinking. And I'm not saying that because I've never done these things. I was in the military, so many people start smoking and drinking when they join the military because the cigarettes and the liquor are so easily available and cheap. And so much people go through, amount of stress. So that's one way they deal with it. I did some smoking. I smoked cigars for a while, but I stopped. I used to drink when I went to clubs and stuff. The heaviest I probably ever drunk. I don't even mess with drinks anymore. So I've been there already, but that can't be a part of you where you're putting these things in you and it's wearing your body down because it makes you feel good for a while. You got to keep coming back to it. So you got an addiction problem, and you also have, during this addiction problem, you're wearing your body out even more. Looking for that next fix. Yeah. So, and also chasing the money. You feel chained to your financial / social position because you don't have enough money. You feel chained to your job. You feel trapped. You feel trapped because the real you is not out. The real you is not out. Now, that's another subject that I covered, in a past podcast, development. But go back to that more simple moral foundation, man. Because that has to be trauma. Where you learn all these things to be one way when you're a child. When you get older, you see all the adults not doing it. And then you kind of have to adjust and compromise these things you learn as a child to fit in, to get by. That's terrible. That is trauma, man. That is trauma, where you're told to be nice to people and taught nice to people, but then it's common practice in this country for people to just fire you from your job, knowing damn well that's more than likely your one and only or main means of income. And sometimes not even because it's self-imposed, but people find a way to justify it because of the name of being cost effective, or because people don't like you, so they're going to be spiteful towards you. I've heard so much people, and people close to me, have worked 20 years, 20 plus years, and then let go without getting any kind of proper severance or retirement package. Can you believe that? And people who enact these things, they're eating. They're either A, people who are already eating, they got money, or B, they're trying to get to that status of getting money, so they're going to do whatever they need to do. Dog eat dog, cutthroat. You know, it's just you're the shark bait out there. Why is that? Because people decide to do these things. It's just business. You got to be cold-hearted in business. That's garbage. You don't ever believe that. I got to a point in my life at a certain age where I didn't believe that. Even though people told me, you got to play the game. You got to fake it till you make it. I didn't believe in that stuff after a certain point because I saw wrong was wrong. This is not how you talk to people. You don't treat people like trash, especially you put human value under the value of money. No way, man. This is not how we roll. This is why we have so many problems. This is why so many people are suffering and hurting because of moral PTSD. You become numb, you become separated from who you're supposed to be in the world around you. You get separated from what the Creator's purpose is for you and each and every one of us. We all need to just be shooken up and wake up and listen, man, this is not everything for me. This is not everything for you. Let me look out for this guy who's working for me, who's been busting his tail. He might have messed up, but you know what? Overall, I'm taking the time to really know him or know who he is, and everyone has mistakes. Let's give him a chance. This person's been working 15, 20, 30 years. You know what? We know their retirement is right there. Let's send them off properly. All their hours and years and months they put into this company, let's send them off right. As opposed to letting them go because the boss told me so, or because we're trying to make budget cuts. Too bad tough. Since when we stopped caring about each other? We got to get back to that. That is the key for everything. Humble yourself to the proper foundations, and I guarantee you so much more. Even if everyone else doesn't fall in line, you start to practice it, you will worry a lot less. You will value things in life a lot more. You will understand that it is important to care for others. It is important to not poison myself with cigarettes, with drinking, with toxic people, with toxic environments. You find that it is very important to not cuss all the time, and then cussing is easy to complain all the time because they go hand in hand with each other. You learn to appreciate things a lot more. A whole lot more. I remember I used to get excited. Which child didn't get excited when, let's go outside to the park. Yay! I'm going to tell you, I still get excited to go outside to the park. I love going to the park, botanical gardens, outside somewhere, man. Somewhere where it's a little bit peace, fresh air. Not cooped up in a box, not cooped up in your head if you're trapped in there. Get out there and free yourself, man. Free yourself from this bondage, from these binds, and try to start healing yourself and others around you from this moral PTSD that we are all suffering from. Some more than others, but we are all suffering. Remember, life is not as complicated as we think it is. I say and believe strongly. Just about, if not every problem that we come across in life has a simple solution. It's us that make things complicated. All right. That's it. I rambled on long enough. I hopefully gave you something to think about. Hopefully I kept your interest. Hopefully I give you something to talk about. Well, that's why I'm doing this. Again, you could email me at Corey@brooklynbaritone.com. Thank you for listening. Listen out for another podcast every week, of course, right here on brooklynbaritone.com or Google Play or iTunes. Take care and be blessed, everyone. Love you all.